when will Harry wake up out of his slumber and understand he is sleeping with the enemy? He is sleeping with a woman that does not have his best interest, and he will continue to fail and to look like a complete dweeb and a weasel.
What is it that they say about toxic attracting toxic? Because seriously, my head exploded when I saw this. A sequel to my Megxit front page in The Sun a few years back. Beckxit, because Harry and Meghan are now advising Brooklyn Beckham and Nicola Peltz about how to destroy families. Well, that is something they know a lot about. We'll come to that in just one moment. But first, Meghan is trying to rebrand her flop era, her disaster era, as her concert era, as she drags a rough-looking Prince Harry to go and see James Taylor in San Diego. And goodness gracious me, he ain't looking good, is he? He is not looking good. Nancy Sidley posted on this. Could you imagine being so desperate that you're constantly posting pics on Instagram to prove that you are happy? That is so 2012. And she added, someone should break it to Meghan that she's in her hashtag flop era. P-Dina, royal YouTube sensation, joins me now. I mean, we had the Beyonce concert show of love. We have the James Taylor concert show of love. But P-Dina, it almost feels like with every move that Meghan makes to try and convince us that Harry is so happy and so good looking, the guy looks more drug-addled and more miserable by the minute.
It is so exhausting. I could not believe that they were at a James Ingram concert. I mean,
James
I don't
Taylor.
under I'm sorry, Taylor. Ingram is another singer. Yeah, actually, I did a music video with him. Okay, but anyway, it's exhausting because Megan is just trying to prove so much. Why is she doing this? Where are these children? It's almost like she's trying to find relevance by having these photo ops and these places to go, and she's busy and doing things and looking relevant, but it's not sustainable. It just looks like she's showing her desperation. And Harry, yeah, like you said, he looks miserable. He can't be happy. I think it's a way to get his mind off of his real problems. And it just is not going to work because they're going to follow him wherever he goes. I don't care no amount of photos and appearances here and there, or dancing, or making yourself look like you're having the best life ever is going to change the reality of your circumstances that we all see. It's just going to give us the information or the proof that we need, that you are going down and you're trying to stay afloat by posting photos to make us look like, or to make yourself look like you're doing great. And we know it's not the truth. I
Totally.
mean, how can that be?
Totally. But P-Dina, you know my theory on this, and I stand by it, and I'm pretty certain that I'm correct, is that this is all part of Meghan's decision to flood the zone because she knows just how badly the BBC interview went down with Prince Harry. She knew just how devastating the druggy doorbell picture is. Because, I mean, P-Dina, this is actually, I would argue, the most damaging royal photograph since Prince Andrew was pictured in Central Park with Jeffrey Epstein, because this one frame of Prince Harry blows to a million pieces this whole argument that things are as good as they've ever been, that actually all he needs is security and the life is going to be fine. It's like you're going up and down a random street in London with no one by your side, not your security detail, not your friends, looking for God knows what. And look, the thing with Meghan, we know she's addicted to fame. She's addicted to coverage. She's addicted to driving the narrative. But in this case, I think she also does realize she has to deal with the car crash that her husband has left behind over the past couple of weeks. So it's like, James Taylor, okay, I don't know any of your songs. I've got no idea who your son is, but yep, I'm going to get in the car and come to San Diego because we need to be backstage because Beyonce didn't let us come backstage, but you will, and we'll put the Instagram pictures up and we'll get another headline.
Right, the desperation. This woman, that just shows you all the other things that she puts out there. She's constantly plotting with
Always.
the photos, the
Always.
articles, the leaks to newspapers about stories. She is doing a lot of work behind the scenes, and Harry is the one that is made to look like, he is the roaming idiot in town. I mean, what in the world is he doing? It just proves this man doesn't know anything about real life. He can't even find his way to where he is going. I mean, really, Harry is a lost dog, and Meghan is trying to guide him, and that's disaster for him in his life. And I can't understand, or why hasn't he figured it out yet? Or like, will it ever get better for Harry? No, it won't. It will get worse
Well, the
and
problem is
worse.
P-Dina, and he has admitted, by the way, a large drug usage for many, many years. And one
Mm,
problem is, and we've seen this a lot in showbiz. I mean, I previously in my former life as an entertainment correspondent saw up close the damage that drugs and fame have done to people like Justin Bieber and Britney
yeah.
Spears. The list goes on, Lindsay Lohan, and you can just see that. I mean, the past 5 years have been devastating for him on so many levels. So I think you can't get away from the fact that there has been some type of abuse of himself, which has certainly weakened the brain power, put him in this delusional place where he thinks he can be calling the shots with his father and his brother after everything that he did. There's also just a degree of blind stupidity. He's always had that, but he was previously protected when he was in the royal family. I've got to ask you though, P-Dina, what do you think James Taylor was thinking? Because what we have noted, and we've spoken about a lot over the past few months, is that A-list celebrities, even if they have personal, private sympathy towards Harry and Meghan, have realized that it is completely toxic to be linked personally. Do you think James Taylor is just so big, so successful? I mean, come on, he's one of the world's greatest songwriters that he just doesn't care. And the fact that his son was in the photo seems to suggest, I would argue, that this has been something that the son has said, oh, Dad, can you do this for me?
Mhm. Yeah, I can't imagine that he really knows much about them or is thrilled to be there in a photo with them. And he takes pictures with people, all the time. And I think they're just another, couple that wants to take a picture. And oh, okay, so the royal family, okay. He's a legend. I mean, I love him and his music. I can't really see the Megan being someone that's a fan of him. I think, yeah, it's just one of those opportunities to take a photo with somebody who is a
Oh, come on, she's not a
celebrity.
fan of anyone. She isn't
No,
a
not
fan
at
of anyone. She
all.
has no true passion for anyone, does she? There's never been
No,
any inclination or inkling from her that she's a fan of James Taylor. She's never used his
never.
music in any of her works. So
Right.
I don't think that. Fans, I think James Taylor, and by the way, I'm a huge fan. I mean, he's a complete legend. One of my dad's
Yeah.
favorite artists, actually. I've seen him live numerous times. It is a great show. But he's
Yeah.
considered to be pretty much on the left as well. So there is maybe some type
Right.
of political alignment. Although I will add, even celebrities on the left, P-Dina, have been staying
Mhm.
as far away possible from Harry and Meghan lately because they just realize that these two are completely radioactive. But speaking of
Right.
radioactive, an extraordinary story revealed by The Sun this morning, Beckxit. Now, we knew that Harry and Meghan, and I was even discussing it a couple of weeks ago, were providing a, how do I put it, sort of like a plan for Brooklyn Beckham and Nicola Peltz, that they were following in their footsteps in terms of how do we take a Nepo baby situation and make us the star couple, pulling along our sort of stupid Nepo baby partners for the ride, because clearly I would argue in both cases it is Nicola Peltz and Meghan Markle that is driving what is going on. But how extraordinary to learn that Meghan and Harry are actually advising Brooklyn and Nicola up close in person. And there are so many strands to this, P-Dina, as well, because you
Yeah.
think about the fact that previously David and Victoria Beckham were close. to Meghan and Harry until I revealed all of those years ago that they had accused Posh Spice ludicrously of leaking to the newspapers. Trust me, I worked to newspapers for years and years and years. Victoria Beckham doesn't like us. She doesn't leak stories. She wasn't leaking the stories. The leaking was being done from your side, Meghan and Harry. So the fact that you threw them under the bus was despicable. Obviously, we even had a situation where Beckham went with his kids to Australia for the Invictus Games, only to be snubbed by Prince Harry. So you've got that going on. Then you've got the fact that the royal family has closely aligned with David and Victoria over the past couple of years, almost viewed them as a glamorous replacement to the Sussexes at major events. And just this week, we can take a look at it, Catherine emerges in the Victoria Beckham pantsuit, proving that not only can she wear that type of outfit so much better than Meghan Markle, who can't seem to find an iron. But critically, and this was briefed, by the way, that Catherine's sartorial choice was a nod to the Beckhams, a sort of acknowledgement. You're going through a difficult time. We know what it's like for your family to be torn apart. So that's sort of the scene setting, isn't it, P-Dina? Because it's quite crazy that amidst all of that, Brooklyn and Nicola would think, oh yeah, the people we want to be going with are Harry and Meghan.
Well, see, I find this story very interesting, and I almost don't believe that it is true. I think that it was a leaked story by Meghan, unbeknownst to Harry, because, like you mentioned, Catherine had wore this beautiful suit designed by Victoria, and the alignment of Princess of Wales to Victoria, I think rubbed Meghan the wrong way. She wanted to grab some of that spotlight and put out a story that she was speaking with the son of Victoria and David, to make it look like she has a connection to the Beckhams when she truly doesn't. I mean, this was supposed to be a secret meeting. How did it get out into the press? Who are the sources for this story? It doesn't make sense that they would be aligned with Meghan. They're not even following her on Instagram. So it seems like Meghan has had something put out there. We know she's known to do that. And she has also met with the lady, or I think the person that wrote that for the Sun was someone that has met with Meghan in the past when Meghan was trying to get columns in the newspaper. So Meghan is accustomed, or she has been known to leak stories. And I think that's what she's done. And think about it. The birthday celebrations for David was, when was that? Why is this story just now coming
Mm.
out now? You know? I think it is a setup by Meghan. I don't think there is a connection to the Beckhams to Meghan and Harry with any advising or anything like that. It just doesn't make sense that they would be.
No, indeed. And of
Mm-mm.
course, this absolutely fits what Meghan Markle wants. Put ourselves at the center of another drama and at the same time seek revenge on Victoria
Right.
and David, who she believes screwed us over and chose the wrong side. But the thing is,
Yes.
as always, they just read the public mood so badly. I mean, I'll tell you, P-Dina, I'm no big
Mm-hmm.
fan of the Beckhams.
Mm-hmm.
I never have been. We've got long history. However, they are family people, okay? And
Yeah.
Brooklyn Beckham has had a charmed life. He has, let me just be frank, zero talent, nothing going for him. He's had a charmed life because his parents, and I always thought this was an odd decision, by the way, chose to put him out there front and center as a celebrity. That's how he's made his money. That's how he's received this insane level of fame for someone who can't even go on an American cooking show and make a bacon sandwich. I mean, this is the level that we're talking about. He released a book of
Mm-hmm.
photographs, P-Dina. They were all
Mm-hmm.
out of focus. So this guy has zero talent, but he was always part of the Beckham clan. And I think people have really gravitated to the fact that even though the Beckhams have been caught up in scandal after scandal, they're a real family. They stay true to each other.
Yes.
They stay by each other's side. And people loved that family side of it. Now, what do people despise Meghan for? And if we look at those YouGov figures from yesterday, P-Dina, which were astonishing, they despise Meghan Markle because she has destroyed a family. Yeah, they're furious with Harry too for going along with it and for being so stupid to go along with it, but they hate someone who breaks apart a family unit. But first, we've been told our whole lives that wrinkle creams were the easiest way to look younger. Now one doctor says that's nothing but old news. According to Dr. John Lake, the world-renowned Beverly Hills beauty expert, most wrinkle fixes on the market are nothing but glorified moisturizers. They hardly make a dent on your appearance, and some can even be harmful to your skin. Recently, Dr. Lake has focused his attention away from mainstream cosmetic practices. Why? Well, so that he can pursue a revolutionary anti-aging breakthrough, one that some experts say could empty the wallets of the cosmetic industry. It's almost like Photoshop for your face. He said you may even be mad after seeing how easy it is to visibly erase your wrinkles from view. His personal clients have dubbed his new do-it-yourself technique the age rewinder method because it can take years or even decades off your appearance in under 2 minutes. And in light of this amazing breakthrough, Dr. Lake has released a step-by-step video to the public. It is free and uninterrupted where he outlines exactly how to use this simple solution from home. He says if it helps even one person look younger or feel more confident, he will be thrilled knowing he helped. The video has since gone viral. At first it was shared by users on Facebook, but since then it's racked up over 2.3 million views and counting. So far, the comments and feedback have been outstanding, with thousands of women reporting they look decades younger. One viewer even commented, "Best results of anything I've used. I can't believe how well this works. I'll never stop using this. I don't understand how it works, but the results are great. Thank you." So you can find out more about this yourself right now. Go to bhmd1.com/outspoken or just click on the link in the description box below. That's bhmd1.com/outspoken. Now, there is one thing Dr. Lake asks from his viewers. If watching this video helps you look and feel younger than you have in years, then please share this video with your friends and loved ones. Together, we have the power to help as many women reclaim a youthful look as possible. Go watch the video, bhmd1.com/outspoken right now, or just click on the link in the description box below. But now, back to the show.
Megan is very divisive, and people can see right through it. I mean, like I've always said, the age of social media has really given us the insight that we need to really understand who celebrities are. I mean, we look at what they post, we look at what other people are posting, who's following who. There's just a lot of connections and information that's available out there that gives people the information and insight that they need to really understand who people are. You no longer have publicists who are able to put out stories and to portray a false image. We can see right through it, and what people want is authenticity. And Megan is not able to do that. And the harder she tries, the more she fails. And she will keep trying, she will keep failing, and it will just get worse and worse. And the question then becomes, when will Harry wake up out of his slumber and understand he is sleeping with the enemy? He is sleeping with a woman that does not have his best interest, and he will continue to fail and to look like a complete dweeb and a weasel. I'm sorry. This man has got some issues. He needs to man up and do something because Megan does not have his best interest. It's
Well, I'm
quite
sorry, if someone is
pathetic.
not prepared to man up, even when they are told by Vanity Fair, this isn't me
Right.
and my reporting, this is Vanity Fair telling you your wife is shopping the post-divorce book already. If that doesn't wake you up, then nothing will. So I don't think he's ever going to
That's
get
right.
those balls back, unfortunately. It probably is going to be her who breaks his heart. That's the irony here. But look, let's go through this story because the details are very, very fascinating, P-Dina. Although actually, just before we do, the Royal News Network posted on this because I thought it was really interesting. And Nicola's father's billions had nothing to do with this little get-together. Regardless, not sure why anyone would go to the disastrous train wreck that is Harry and Meghan for advice, especially on family, but I guess toxicity attracts toxicity, which I thought was a fair point, P-Dina.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, I could see how, if you're going through the same issues as someone else, you're attracted to that because you have the same things in common. But I don't think that the Beckham's relationship with their family is nearly as broken as Harry's is with his
Not
family.
yet.
So
That's the
yeah,
thing.
well,
That's the
yeah,
thing.
but yeah.
And that's why you shouldn't
Hmm.
listen to them. No, I completely agree because it's like there's a fundamental difference here. And the fundamental difference is at this point, There is no Brooklyn and Nicola Netflix series. There is no Brooklyn and
Mhm.
Nicola autobiography. There is no Brooklyn and Nicola Oprah interview accusing the Beckhams of this, that, and the other thing. Okay, yeah, there's warfare going on via the press, but publicly, both sides have stayed silent. And that's why it's like, oh my God, if you're going to Harry and Meghan, like, they're going to ruin this forever. And that's why I think this is absolutely being driven by Nicola Peltz, by the way, because she clearly wants to, just like Meghan did, isolate Brooklyn from his entire family. And just like Meghan wants to, she also holds the purse strings, right, P-Dina, because her family are
Yeah.
incredibly wealthy. As soon as Brooklyn is cut off from the Beckham billions, then he's completely reliant on her. And this guy's already pretty whipped, isn't he? I mean, I don't like this whole thing,
Yeah.
Pete. I know people might take a different
Mm.
point of view, but you know, he's changed his name. He's changed his name, Brooklyn Beckham Peltz. And I'm sorry, Pete
Yeah.
Diney, you might think I'm old fashioned, but I just think man up. Like, man up.
Yeah. Yeah, man up is the word of the day. I mean, really, how does this happen? I mean, women in general, I think, don't like to see a woman do this to a man. So you're not winning over fans. You're not winning over people who are going to be cheering you on. You are devaluing a man in a way that I think most people don't like to see. And he is just whipped. He's got no real, I think, life skills to really understand what is happening with his wife. I mean, you stand up to someone who is not treating your family well. And if you allow your spouse to do that, that speaks a lot about your character and who you are. But, she's got her own money, right? So if if Brooklyn is cut off from his family's money, I mean, that's okay because she's got money. Isn't her family a billionaires? I mean, she's got the money to do that. It's just going to be sad. I think he is going to find himself on the losing end as well. And just to see a man destroyed like this slowly in the press over time, it just does not look good for people to want to be rooting for you. You don't get fans, you don't get people who are having your best interest when you are the cause of someone's downfall. You are the enemy, and we see that clearly.
Totally. Totally. Well, look, let's go through the
Mhm.
story though, because there is a lot to pick up on. I can take you through and sort of do some of the translation, and there's a lot of reading between the lines going on here in terms of where the story has come from as well. So, The Sun reports Prince Harry and Meghan are secretly supporting Brooklyn Beckham and wife Nicola Peltz amid their family row and had them over for dinner last week. The quartet dined at the Sussexes' mansion in Montecito, California, just days after Brooklyn skipped all of his dad David's 50th celebrations. A source familiar with the event said. So already, okay, we know that there were a lot of people at this event. However, none of those people would even think of leaking those details to the Sun. So it's come from one of two parties, right? P-Dina, it's come from
Right,
either
right.
the Beckham side, the Brooklyn Beckham, Nicola Peltz side, or the Meghan and Harry side. And then a source familiar with the event said Harry and Meghan were very empathetic and very kind to them both. Harry was fully aware of the situation and offered Brooklyn his unwavering support as someone who has been through similar. The Duchess of Sussex and Nicola found, quote, common ground after both were accused of wrecking their husbands' families, sources told The Sun. Well, they weren't accused of that, were they, P. Dina? They did. I mean, this isn't
Mm.
supposition, it's fact.
Right, it's fact. And it's like the blind leading the blind. And what's going on with these American women and what they're doing to these British men? I mean, I just think this is a disaster. It's going to get so bad because there is no direction here. Nobody is thinking in a way that is empowering or bringing together a family and love. I mean, who are the people that are now going to be in your life when you are just feeding each other all this negativity and toxicity? I just don't understand why they don't want to have these good relationships with their families and why it's playing out on a world stage and who is leaking this information. Right? I think it's Megan. Megan wants this. This is what she wants. Even if it's not true, I think she will leak things like this because that's what she's about. She's about this drama. She's about trying to create payback for people towards the Beckhams and trying to just make more families be divided because she gets off on this negativity and this isolation from your family because she's done it with her own family. Megan does not have the best interest of the Beckhams
No way.
and trying,
No
I
way.
mean, I think that's a big mistake for them to even try to be aligned with Megan and what
Huge
she's doing.
mistake. Huge,
Huge
huge
mistake for
mistake.
them.
And you're completely right. And I think this is the reason that Meghan's popularity has plummeted again. Like, it's almost, could this go any lower? But then you've got Saturday Night Live turning on her, for example. All of this stuff is going on. And it's because people can see, okay, on the one hand, you're in the Jamie Kern-Lima podcast saying, all I want is to empower people and be positive. Then on the other hand, it's like, I'm going to try and break up the Beckham family. It wasn't enough breaking up the royal family. I'm going to try and break up the
Right.
Beckhams.
Right.
Okay, let's go back to the article, P-Dina. Last night, a source familiar with the intimate event said this was an unexpected invite, but one gratefully received by Brooklyn and Nicola, who both feel pretty battle-wounded. Harry and Meghan were very empathetic and very kind to them both. Harry was fully aware of the situation and offered Brooklyn his unwavering support as someone who has been through similar. Nicola and Meghan also had a bit of a deep and meaningful, as obviously both women have been positioned in the media as homewreckers, the women to tear apart their husbands' families. Meghan had a lot of sympathy for her and said there was shared common ground. They didn't meet in relation to recent developments and headlines, but it was an honest but very welcome coincidence. Well, P-Dina, let me tell you, the only reason that they know anything about this is because they're obsessed with what's going on in the media. Harry was aware of every twist and turn. That's because he sits on his phone doom scrolling all day, getting angry, using his burner accounts to post on X, etc., etc. So that's all quite sad. In terms of a deep and meaningful between Meghan Markle and Nicola Peltz, what do you think Meghan would have said? Stay the course? You're doing the right thing? I mean, it's nuts.
It's misery loves company, doesn't it? I mean, she's trying to get together her own little family of people who are estranged from their families because she wants this for other people because that's her circumstance. And it's just Megan trying to get together like-minded people to strengthen, I guess, her tribe or to make a dig at that Victoria and just really play these really petty games because she can't get her own celebrity or her own branding to be relevant. She has to be relevant through all this fighting and causing problems for people because she's failing in a big way with her own branding, with her own trying to become her self-made. And it's just somebody that's trying to make life miserable for other people and feeding that negativity and not really being the person she wants people to believe that she is. She is really a toxic person that is not out to do good by anybody. And the sooner these men realize it that their wives are driving this, the better off they'll be. And it's so unbelievably sad and it will end in tragedy. I know for at least Harry it will. I mean, I don't know. Brooklyn, maybe he has a chance. I mean, hopefully he can reconcile with his family. But if they allow Megan to have her paw still in their conflict with his family, it's not gonna get good. It's gonna just continue to just be more and more divisiveness, and more things will come out, and more stories will be leaked, and their lives will continue to be divided and miserable.
Exactly,
I mean, how
because
do you find
already they are
happiness?
now just a
Yeah,
pawn in Harry and Meghan's game already. Now, the
right.
story goes on.
Gone.
It is understood the quartet swapped mobile numbers. Well, how on earth, P-Dina, would anyone at the dinner know that if this story wasn't leaked by one of the four of them? Because no one else at the dinner would know that these four had swapped mobile numbers, would they? Then they said it is not
Right.
known whether they have stayed in touch. Brooklyn was only 13 when he last met Harry. He was having dinner with his dad at the Sun's Millie Awards in 2011 when the young prince came over to say hello. David and Victoria also attended Harry and Meghan's 2018 wedding, not long after they gave them full use of their Beverly Hills home so they could hide out. However, the four fell out when Meghan accused Victoria of leaking stories about her. A source told The Sun at the time, well, this is when I was executive editor of The Sun, so I can guarantee that what the source was saying was true, P-Dina. Inexplicably, she feared Victoria was behind the leak. I mean, the idea that Victoria Beckham would be personally ringing journalists to give them a scoop is ridiculous, and spoke to Harry about it. Harry is very protective of Meghan and decided to deal with the matter head on by directly contacting his good pal David. Harry was very polite, but obviously it was a pretty awkward exchange, and David was mortified. Harry also reportedly snubbed David at the 2018 Invictus Games at Meghan's behest. Last week's catered Montecito soiree was a pre-arranged event, with Nicola invited through another VIP in attendance, one close to both Meghan and Harry. Around 18 other guests were in there, including Paramount CEO Brian Robbins and his wife, Tracy. So, P-Dina, I mean, when you look at that, it seems impossible to think that this story has come from anyone other than Harry and Meghan.
Yeah, I believe Megan is behind it. It is very so devious, and the mindset of this woman. I mean, she is willing to just ruin people, ruin their relationships, things that are supposed to be, valuable in your connection to your family and where you come from. I mean, Megan doesn't have the goodwill that Harry thinks she has. I think slowly he's starting to realize it. I think she is putting herself in a position to try to be this power player who's, setting all the rules and making all these things happen and thinking that something good will come out of it. But she's literally ruining this man in a way that is not going to fare well for him. I think it is quite sad. It's devious. Megan is a mean girl, and she's been found out. We know who she is. She can't try to hide behind like sources. We see, I mean, like you were saying, who could be the person that has leaked this? If it was just them there, like this is coming from Megan because she has a history of doing this. She has a history of leaking information to the tabloids. We remember when Shallon Lester said that Megan was the one that was leaking stories from within the royal family before she even came into the royal family. It was a tight ship. Megan has a history. We see the pattern, and she is doing this because this is the kind of person she is. She is a very divisive, cruel, conniving woman that is not out to do good for people. And the Beckhams, David and Victoria, they see it, they know it. And I'm sure they're going to get their son back because they're not going to allow Megan to be driving any decisions by their son. I think, yeah, this is a little hiccup, but no, they're not going to allow this to get out of control like it has with Harry and his family. No way.
Totally. And by the way, P-Dina, today we've seen Harry and Meghan and their teams try to leak to some of their favourite publications. Oh, this was all just a coincidence. It's like, do one. We're not stupid. We weren't born yesterday. Come on, please. It's like you are acting as if we are stupid, as if we don't understand how your game works. No, we've been watching you for so many years now, so you don't get the benefit of the doubt over these types of things. But P-Dina, thank you so much. And of course, if you do want first access to the uncancelled Royal After Show, www.outspoken.live, sign up there. It's the best way to stay in direct communication with me and also protect me from big tech cancellation and cancellation from Harry and Meghan, which, let me tell you, is a dangerous thing these days, given how nasty those two are. Thank you so much for watching Dan Wootton Outspoken. Please click on my face just to the bottom left to subscribe to this brand new independent news source and turn on the notification bell so you'll be alerted to our brand new live shows, uncancelled interviews, and special royal episodes. Outspoken is also now available as a podcast, so you can listen to the show every weekday on the go, wherever you are.